Hey guys, it's Kelsey and back with another scrapbooking process video, and this is part 2 of my double page layout at the St. Augustine Alligator Farm. So I'm just pulling that first layout back in so I can kind of get a reference for where I'm starting off. As you can see, that layout isn't done yet. As I said in the last video where I created that page, I kind of jumped back and forth between that first page and the second page. So I'm trying to, at least in this one, show you where I was in that first page as I was bouncing back and forth. I didn't want to do that in the first layout because I didn't want to spoil the design of this page. But I follow a lot of the same elements. I'm getting this orange with the notebook edge punch and that blue ledger down as the background. Because I mismeasured on that first layout and I had to cut another chunk of the orange, there is a gap in between this coral and the blue ledger. So I have to get a little creative about how to problem solve that. But I knew I wanted this coral on the left-hand side because it's going to be connected to the coral on the first page. And I wanted the ledger on the right-hand side so that it looked like that was the full background of the double. So same as the first page, I actually decided to use the white torn paper on the first page because I had to on this one. But I just took a scrap of some white that I'd already had torn from a previous page and layered it over the gap. That's just what I had to do because I mismeasured my paper and miscut my paper for the first layout. But it ends up working out. It was a happy accident because I really like what that white torn paper added to the page. I just think it adds this pop, this fresh texture that just was a nice touch with the rest of the layout. So I'm going to get this 12 by 12 piece together with these scraps, and then I'll pull in my photos and I'm trying to use the same colors and same types of design as the first page since they'll be sitting together. So now you can kind of see I haven't added that white strip back on the first layout because I had to go back and do that once I kind of got to a point on this one. But yeah, I have two photos here. I have a 4x4 and a 4x6. I thought about stacking them together, but I already had a photo strip, a vertical 4x strip on the first layout, and I thought it would just look weird having like a skinny vertical strip and then a skinny horizontal strip. I don't know. I thought it would make them look weird together. So I moved the photos stacked on top of them. I like that a lot better. I also like that they're sitting on the orange, which is the same as the first layout. Because together they look really nice with all these photos kind of on the orange and then embellishment out on the blue. So now I'm just trying to create some interest. Since I have this open area next to the 4x4 over the 4x6, I thought it'd be nice to have a little cluster peeking out on the side of that. So that's kind of what I started doing with this glassine bag. And I have that aqua diagonal banner and this little circular piece with the anchor. I did matte both of these on white too, since I did matte the photo strip on white as well, which also ties into that white torn piece, which I like. I at first was not going to use this anchor piece because I felt like the anchor was too nautical and we're not even at the ocean in these photos, even though we are in Florida on a beach vacation. So I wasn't going to use the anchor, but the sentiment on this anchor piece is like beautiful, and I feel like it doesn't have to be nautical. So I don't want to mess it up. I'm going to grab this layout so I can actually read it and try to not mess up the Nuvo drops because it's not dry yet. But this little anchor piece, it says, "A ship in the harbor is safe. That's not what it's built for." And I just thought that was beautiful, especially for like adventure or vacation. Like it just is such a good message about you might be safe if you stay home and in your house and not explore, but what's the point then, you know? Like, I don't know. And especially here, like Marcus was not super excited to come here. Like I told him I thought it would be really cool. I thought he'd enjoy it. I knew I'd enjoy it. And it'd be something different we could add to our vacation. We already had like the beach and the fort and like the brewery and all this other stuff. So I was like, let's add this one in. It would be such a cool way to round out our trip with something different. And also I wanted something with animals because I'm me. But Marcus had so much fun, and I don't think he realized like how cool alligators are. And I think it really helped him appreciate Franklin more because he was seeing a lot of reptile behavior that he sees in Franklin in these alligators. So I think it really helped not humanize them, but he saw them in, you know, a different light than them being scary, which I loved. So I thought it was really sweet. And afterwards he was like, that was so cool. Like, it was one of the highlights of his trip as well, not just mine. So I'm really glad he ended up enjoying it, because I love this place so much. If I lived in St. Augustine, I would probably work there. Because I love animals. And I wasn't always a huge gator fan. I grew up watching, Crocodile Hunter and all that kind of stuff. But they've just grown on me so much. And I feel like this place is a big part of why. They do such good shows here, and education and conservation and that kind of thing. The University of Florida, whose mascot is the gator, has a lot of students that come there for study and that kind of thing. So it's great all the way around. I'm really glad he enjoyed it. So that's really why I wanted to spend a double page documenting this place. And I think there's a couple more pages from here too, because we just did a lot while we were here. We spent almost an entire day doing this. So I'm creating that little cluster, definitely using that anchor. I popped up on some foam. I did add a little black and white knot, like rope knot. There's a couple of those in this collection. I wasn't sure how I was going to use them, but I really like tucking them into a cluster like that. And then another aqua ticket. With it being on the peachy paper, I wanted to use aqua as the base for this cluster. So I pulled in another one of those tickets. And then I'm just pulling in a couple word stickers in that same kind of corally color, since it's laying on the aqua. And I'm popping that up on some foam. I really thought about doing something in the corner like this. There's a lot of flags in this collection, but as soon as I stuck them down, I was like, immediately, no, I'm not doing that. I think if the corally flags were more on the orangey peachy color, I might have made it work. But as soon as I stuck it down and saw how bright that coral looked, and I didn't have coral on any of the rest of this double page, I just didn't want to have to think about going back and adding coral. So I took them off, and instead of doing a little cluster in the upper right, I decided to do something in the lower right, just because it felt better visually. So that's what I decided. I'm not sure what I'm doing down there yet, but definitely not doing flags in the top. So I'm trying to add more up there to the top. I'm really wanting to add a pop of gold, since I had pops of gold in the cluster on the other page. But all the gold stuff I had just wasn't working. I really like how this cluster is composed, and all the gold stuff I was trying to add were just making it look messy. This is where I was trying out a seagull, and I really liked the idea of using seagulls on this double, so that one's going to sit up there for a minute. But this is where I decided to compose my last cluster in the lower right-hand corner. So since this one is on the aqua, I'm pulling in the peachy orange as the base for this cluster. And this is where I'm making sure I'm pulling in gold, since I forgot about that in the other cluster. So I'm using a gold banner, and then a little aqua obsessed. I used the word obsessed on the first page because it was me and a Komodo dragon that I was obsessed with here. So I figured I might as well carry the sentiment over to this page. So I just rounded those corners. I'm going to pop that up on some foam as well. And then I'll try to figure out the rest of this cluster. I did add some of that black and white washi I used on the first page in that first cluster. I only have like an inch or so left on the roll. I finished that washi roll on this page, which is exciting. Which is, kind of sad, because I use this washi a lot, but I used the last little smidgen of it in this bottom cluster as well, just so that black and white striped washi is in every cluster across both pages, which will look balanced. I needed a little pop of black down there, so I'm just going to get that figured out. When you get to the end of the washi roll and the last little bit is on the cardboard and it pulls the cardboard off and then it's not sticky, that was this little bit, but I needed it. I needed it in this cluster, so I made it work. I just added some more double-sided tape to the back of it so it would stick down. But yeah, here's the double back again. I still haven't gone back to the first page to finish it, which you already saw in the last video, but I like how at least you can see how I kind of bounce back and forth to finish doubles, because I really like doing them together, even if they're not in one video. But I'm trying to space out all of the seagulls. I think I used the rest of the seagulls on the sticker sheet on this page. I just really wanted them to create a visual triangle across the double to really, I don't know, finish it out. I thought they were so cute. So I'm just trying to figure out where I want each of the birds, where the sizes make sense for them to be together. I didn't want like a giant seagull and a tiny seagull next to each other because I thought the scale would kind of be awkward. So I'm just trying to figure out where they all look best. I kind of think this is where I came to that decision. So I'm going to stick this little die cut seagull down, and then the rest of them I think were from the sticker sheets. They already have adhesive, which is nice. I'm going in and adding my Heidi Swapp Gold Color Shine since I did decide to pull in pops of gold, and then my Nuvo drops, which is my finishing touch. I love the white Nuvo drops with this collection this month. I miss my Nuvo drops. I used to use them on like every page, so I'm really happy I pulled them back in. And I thought I was done, but once I put the pages back together, I really wanted something else to the left of the glassine bag, kind of going into the first page. It just looked too empty up there, so I pulled in a couple aqua word stickers just for another little pop of aqua and to fill in that space a little bit. There's so many word stickers on that sticker sheet. If there's any kind of gap or any kind of cluster that needs something, I'm just going to pop word stickers on it. So one of them says sunshine. I go ahead and stick that one down, but the better together I wanted to pop up to give a little bit of dimension just so they're not both flat. But I think that kind of filled that out and added the interest that I needed. So that's it. Here are the close-ups. Thank you guys so much for watching. I have another video snippet at the end of the close-ups. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye.